Hi, my name's AudreyGale and I do art. Welcome to the first video of 2025 where I'm officially announcing that I quit my job to pursue art more seriously. Now, don't get it twisted. I want to just say from the get-go that art is not my full-time gig. Even still, I did quit my job. I had just a regular full-time job that I went to school for, and for several reasons, I quit that job. Ultimately, I was not happy there, and I also felt like it really kept me from pursuing my other passions, such as art. This full time job that I quit was good money, and it's definitely not the worst job I've ever had, but I just wasn't happy, and I wasn't able to commit to art and run my art like a business like I would like to. So about a month ago, I put in my notice, and I also about a month ago got a new position. Same job, different place, and instead of full time, I will be part time. And that way I can do that job part time and also be an artist part time. The job that I'm leaving, um, part of the reason that I've left that job is because I had to work every other weekend. I have been working weekends since I was 15 years old. I'm 30. I have been working weekends half my life. Most of my life, I've been going to school and working weekends or working both weekdays and weekends. So I really felt like I was missing out on not only art opportunities, but just like family and personal life opportunities. With this new job, I have a very just stable schedule, and that doesn't include the weekends. I'll be working there 3 days per week during the week, so that way I can have my weekends to myself or to pursue art in various ways. And then I have a couple days during the week that I can do that as well. I really went gung ho with my art career about 2 years ago. I have been painting and drawing for years, and I was always just doing stuff on the side because I just simply didn't have the time. And I was always either like in college or working full time or both. And I just didn't have the time to commit to it. And now I've been out of college for a couple of years, and I was able to do full time work and work on my art business on the side. In the last couple years since I've graduated, I've really put my all into it. I built up a portfolio. I figured out how to do prints and stickers. I started doing markets. And more recently, like in the last 6 months or so, I've expanded into murals and paint parties. And that's really my sweet spot. And that's where I've really found the most growth and success in my business. And, pretty quickly I've realized like, oh, I could actually do this as a career. I honestly didn't think that that was possible before. I thought that that was kind of a pipe dream, and a girl can dream, I've always thought that, okay, well, all these people on YouTube are doing it, and all these people on Instagram are doing it. But like, how that's so rare. A lot of these people went to school for art. I did not go to school for art. And I just thought, well, it's probably not going to happen for me. And then I thought, well, it's not going to happen for me with that attitude. um, so the last couple years, I have just really put my all into it, and I have found myself just, it was like such a slow growth, and then it just really popped off. It really just kind of catapulted. I'm now at the point where I can comfortably work part-time at my quote-unquote real job, and then also have this blossoming art career part-time. Going part-time with my art career and part-time with my real world job is really, everything that I do in my career is to just aspire to be happy in my everyday life. I have had jobs that are completely soul sucking and just, put me in such a depression. And I have had to go to therapy and be put on medication solely because of jobs. And I'm no longer working at jobs that make me feel like that make me to that point. But when I was working those miserable jobs, that's when I really realized, okay, nothing else matters other than doing something that you enjoy. Obviously, you have to pay bills, you have to be able to, put food on the table. But at the end of the day, the happiness factor far outweighs my paycheck. If you're not living a happy, or at least a mostly happy quality of life, then what's the point? There's this old mentality of you separate your personal life and your work life. I understand that to some extent, but you know, when half of your life or half of your waking hours are spent in a job that you hate, then that is going to affect your personal life. It is going to affect your mental health. I've learned the hard way that it is not worth it. And I was starting to feel myself get to that place again with the job that I recently quit. And so I decided, I need to seek out another employment opportunity that would take me away from that and just allow me to have the work-life balance that I need. Basically just a better working environment overall. That was a big problem with the job that I just left, is that the working environment was poor. And so I found a new gig that I'm really excited about, and I'm just working with a great group of people, and it's very supportive. And I'm taking a pay cut, mostly just because my hours are reduced. But I don't care, because that really doesn't matter that much to me. I crunched the numbers before I accepted this job, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to be able to pay the bills. I'm not going to probably have as much money to save. At least I'd be happy. At least it would give me the potential and the freedom to really pursue this art business even further. And I just feel like I almost felt like with this other job, because I was so restricted in my schedule, because I was so restricted with the hours, and not only the hours per week, but the hours in the day. It was a long day. I feel like it was really holding me back when it comes to art. I felt like, okay, well, I can really get somewhere. I got to the point where I felt, oh, I can actually get somewhere with this art business, but I can't because there's just not enough hours in the day between the art job and the other job. And so I realized at a certain point, this job was really holding me back from pursuing art more seriously, and for taking on mural jobs, and for doing paint parties, and for doing commissions, and especially markets. It was holding me back big time. I said, okay, well, if this is something that I really want to do, and I really see the potential in it, and it makes me happier than any other job I've ever had, then I need to take a step back from this regular job. And I need to find a healthy balance to where I'm able to do art, but then, you know, I also have this safety net of having a different regular job. So that way, I'm able to keep my house, buy groceries, pay bills, etc. So I'm taking a little bit of a risk, but it's a super calculated risk and a risk that I have been mulling over for years. I just finally got to the point in my art career where I said, I'm growing, but this job is stifling my growth. And I worked really hard to grow this art career, and I'm not going to let this job that I'm not even happy at keep me from growing to where I want to be. So, I'm not a proponent of like, oh, well, you just need to quit your job and pursue art full time and you just need to take the leap and it'll happen for you. I mean, that might happen for some people, but I don't think that's realistic. I think I'm a pretty practical person. I'm a pretty realistic person, and I don't know if I could ever do that. My parents always taught me before you quit a job, you have to have another one lined up. You have to keep the stability, and stability is very important to me when it comes to finances. And it would completely take a toll on my mental health if I just up and quit my job to do art full time and just crossed my fingers and worked hard and hoped that it worked. And that's not the path for me. I would say my advice to people who want to pursue art full time or just want to make art part of their income on a regular basis, I would say take a calculated risk. I would say let's not jump off the deep end immediately. Let's establish a base. Let's establish a portfolio. Let's establish some good business practices and ideas. For me, it's murals and paint parties. Before we say, okay, let me just up and quit. It's finding that balance between being happy with what you're doing and also not living on the street and not, being able to sustain a decent lifestyle, happy lifestyle. I'm not talking about, you know, living in a $1 million home. I'm not talking about, living lavishly. I'm just talking about, being happy in your everyday life, being able to put food on the table, keep the lights on, and maybe do some stuff that you actually enjoy with your money. So, with all of that being said, I'm really excited to start both my new regular job and to put more focus and attention on my art career. I just feel like I have been building up to this moment kind of my whole life. Like it's so crazy. It's like the past 6 months I could just slowly feel this moment coming of like, okay, I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. Like after all these years I didn't think it would happen, and now it's gonna happen. And I just couldn't be more thrilled about it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how this positively impacts just my life overall, my mental health. With this, I definitely plan on going to a lot more markets. I plan on doing more murals, more paint parties, and also just having more time to post YouTube videos. I really enjoy doing these videos. I feel like I'm starting to get somewhere with it. I'm so excited to finally have the time and the dedicated time to be able to do these things and not just, oh, well, I've got the day off. Let me do this real quick. Let me, slip in a couple hours here during the day to do this painting. It won't be about that anymore. It'll be about, having dedicated days of the week towards an art career, which is something so new and exciting for me. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you to anyone who's ever supported me in any way, meaning like maybe you've bought something, maybe you didn't. Maybe you just subscribed to the YouTube channel or follow my Instagram or anything. Because every little step that I have made in the last 10 years, but more particularly the last 2 years, have led me up to this point. I hope you continue to watch and follow along. I have a lot of really fun and cool videos planned for this year now that I have more time and more opportunities to film and do art, and I hope you'll be along with me during the whole ride. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're into this sort of thing, please subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye.